comes up.
I'm telling you, look, it's the truth. I used to go, she's a golden retriever.
There was actually a band called Golden Retriever.
Oh, no, but this is the Super Furry Animals. They had a song called Golden Retriever. I'm being serious. I got a theme song, but I don't have a ram that I can remember. Actually, I do, but it's not a very good
shit,
one.
he's right. Golden Retriever, Super Furry
1998 it came out. I put fucking money on it.
How much are you going to put on it?
Not a lot. but it was a song.
It is a song.
2004 did it come out?
Nope.
No, you've gone either side of it.
2000?
That's not either side, but anyway.
Yeah, 1998. It's between.
I'm
Did you say
confused.
98? Sorry. I thought you said 88.
No, 1988.
Oh,
1998 I said. 1998 I did.
No, 95 it was out.
Okay, well, fucking, mate.
He's got half a brain in it.
Half a brain's in a jar somewhere. You can't crucify. That's a song. That's the fucking song.
And it exists. I'm amazed.
This is Super Furry Animals, Golden Retriever.
Great audio.
Yeah.
It actually sounds pretty good through the headphones, too. It's coming totally through the mic.
This ready? Go, keep
sorry.
going, keep going.
Wow.
I won't be beaten on bullshit long-term memory things, but when it comes to shit like that, I know. But ask me what I did yesterday. I can't remember. I don't even know what I did this morning. I told the story. I was like Ozzy Osbourne. I go, I don't remember the 80s. You ever see the doco when he was on there and he goes, who the fuck was I don't remember the 80s. Is that me?
Who was it? There was somebody who was telling a story. They were on tour with him. And they were trying to outdo each other on shit that they could snort.
Yeah.
So-
fart.
Go for it. See, they're talking about, I can't remember who it was with.
Sam's not looking comfortable right
He
now.
fucking wants to go home. He's going to go, can we go, darling? That's right, I left the oven on the iron. One of them too. Remember the fucking ad in the 80s? Where she left the chips on the fucking oven and the house burnt down? That was an insurance ad.
Yes.
And the chips were there. She goes, oh my God, the chips.
All right, can you imagine Dad's reaction if Mum did that?
You know what? There was a time Mum left the iron on and Dad came home and he went fucking schizo. He went, oh, for fuck's sake, you're going to burn the fucking house down. That was true. He came. She says, "Oh no, I left the oven on because I thought it was auto off." She had this idea that the oven would the iron would turn off automatically, and now they do now, but back in the 80s they didn't.
It's like the guy who sued Winnebago for the was it the autopilot, which was just cruise control. So he got up and made a cup of tea, and the car went off the road.
Wasn't that a film?
No, it was actually a true story. Winnebago got sued over the use of the word autopilot.
Let's map this bitch.
Well,
out.
didn't Elon Musk have to change the wording in the Tesla for its autopilot, auto drive functionality?
Oh, something like
It's
that.
supposed to be steering assist now.
See how we do this?
This is how coordinated we are.
I'm not joking. I put it down like this.
And
I
it
put
happens.
2 or 3 words on the pad,
And we don't follow any
and
of
I
them.
don't follow any of it.
Yeah, how close were we on the last one?
None.
Well, you were prepared because you had the list.
Yeah,
But
the
I don't
notes.
have a list. It's all in this fucking never decaying brain that I've got. That
Mine's
they
ju-
keep chopping shit out of it. And they go, are you feeling good? Well, I fucking feel fantastic.
I do feel down.
Oh, this is not good, this microphone.
Yeah, you stop fucking my desk. I'll buy a new one next week.
It's pretty bad, man. How much money do you want for it?
I don't know. I'll Google that shit.
All right, I'll give you some money.
Yeah, Patreon, mate, Patreon.
What? Yeah, one person.
Fucking Patreon. If we ever make Patreon, I'll do a Patreon where I'll run around the fucking street in the nude and go, you know what? I've made it. Fuck yous all. I made it. 6 years of uni, I didn't need it because I made it because I'm an internet superstar. And all these women come up to me. They're usually single mums or whatever and they're on the fucking crack. And they go, I love you, Retro Dan. As if fucking knocking a long neck back or something like
Well, you
this.
do live in the area for it.
I tell you, yesterday morning, I went down there at 10 o'clock in the morning and I was seeing everyone drinking Coke. And I thought that's fucking a great way to start your day. Nutrition never made it out this far west. It never made it out.
Well, it is Bathurst.
He says everything west of, what is it?
My place.
Is Bathurst, and everything north of it's Brisbane.
Everything south is North
So
Melbourne.
he threw me off today because he said, where are we going? I said, we're going to this place. And he says, is that Bathurst? I said, I'm fucking confused. I didn't know where we were. And he's putting up Waze on his thingamajig. He makes your car look bad because he's got the Waze on there.
I can put Waze on my car too.
Can you?
Yeah, because he's got Apple CarPlay, man.
I don't have that in my car. My car's a shit, but I've never fucking drive. It just sits in the garage.
I can have Waze in the dash thing between the steering wheel if I want.
He has that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't do that.
Mine doesn't have in the dash.
Yeah,
I'm not that
Is he
technically advanced.
German?
Like an Uber driver.
It's right, be an Uber driver.
That's my next job.
Is it?
Yeah, fucking hell. I'll tell you the story. I'll
stars
tell you now, I have got a little Ram. I've got a little one.
Yep, I know you do.
This is a fucking true story. When I was in America, that fucking chair's not good. These are shit chairs, mate. This fucking budget that we're on.
It's a tight one.
What budget? We don't have any income.
Don't have any income. It's costing us money. But when I was in America, this is true, and we're doing the drive from Dallas to Miami. We got to a point in Florida there where we ditched the car, and so we were relying on Uber. And I never used Uber before, but you got different Uber drivers. But one driver was fucking awesome. He picked us up, and he was this guy in his 50s. And I tell you what, he was like this, looked like retro hippie, and he was having Pink Floyd blaring in his car. And we sat in the car, and it's like Dark Side of the Moon. You know, at the end of Dark Side of the Moon goes da-dun, down, da-down, down, da-down, bam. And we're like, what the fuck? I just stepped into a Pink Floyd concert. And he says to us, do you want me to turn it down? I'm like, no, man, it's cool. It's the fucking shit. And he was saying, he used to be an executive at a big, high-level job, and he said, fuck it, and he wanted to be an Uber driver. And I said, you're doing really well. You're impressing me with this bullshit. It was unreal.
An Uber driver is not playing Indian music. I find that hard to fucking believe.
Not in this... no, mate. Well...
Well, he's just on his phone, just mumbling along to... Who is he talking to?
No, they got the mobile ringtone. I was doing that podcast the other week.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Ring-a-ding-ding. Remember that crazy frog?
Yeah.
They fucking sold well in India. Ning-a-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding. I told this story of the old man. Did I tell you the Rocket Russell? The old man came down the driveway and he goes, fuck, it smells like curry in this joint. The old man did that, and I said, Dad, because he's got no concept of space. He doesn't realise he's not living on an acre of land. He's on a fucking, strata complex, and there's people that, they're prone to make that type of food stuff, you know what I'm saying? And he walked down the driveway, and he's like, fuck, it stinks in this fucking joint. And I said, Dad, you can't fucking say that, mate, I'll tell you. And he did, he said it. Are we recording this bullshit?
Yes, we are.
How long have we got before we fuck off on this bullshit day I've had?
I don't know. I technically haven't even introduced the podcast yet.
Yeah.
Well, you're throwing me off now, because he says to me, get ready for this one. He says, I don't want you to say the episode anymore. Because you know how I used to say, welcome to this bullshit podcast episode number, whatever it is. He rings me up or he texts me. He says, I don't want you to do it anymore. And I say, why? He goes, well, we got a few in the can and I want to release it when I want to release it. And if you say the number, then I'm fucked. I can't release it because you've numbered it. So stop doing it.
So someone who's in technology like Sam will go, yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, but in my little world, right, where I see fucking unicorns and fairy dust and all sorts of bullshit, to me it makes sense to number
unicorns, dude. There's problems in your world.
Oh, I'm very medicated. I'm highly medicated.
King.
I'm fucking big time medicated. But I want to number it. But he won't do it. And when I do it, he gives
It's
me
episode 12 every time.
Yeah.
It's now episode 12 every time. But when I say
You
the
just
number...
have you just mute it out.
Did you
It's
ever-
episode...
Did you ever watch the wrestling?
Which wrestling?
The WWF
Yeah.
back in the... All right, we're fucking on. Because you remember the Dudley Boys?
Yeah.
Oh, who doesn't?
Yeah, okay. Remember when, was it the big... was it...
Bubba Dudley?
Yeah, and he had the eye. And JR go, look at the ass king! My God almighty! Well, if I say the episode number, he gives me those eyes and I'm like, look at the ass king! My God almighty!
You've made him deaf.
See the big red knob there on the bottom right-hand
I'm so
side?
caffeinated.
Can you crank it down a little bit?
I'm so caffeinated.
That'll do.
He gives
That'll
me
do.
those
How's
eyes.
that?
Hey, I have a feeling he's clipping out that fucking audio.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. But he gives me the eyes and it's like, What's going to happen, King? Find out on pay-per-view. And he gives me those eyes, and I can't do it. So you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to do it because I just want to.
You don't even know what episode number it is
No, because
anymore.
I'm confused now. You killed me. You killed my dream. I had a sequence. I had it all in my head.
Is that your sequence?
No, that's my
notes on the-
life. Look at my life. It's been reduced to these bullshit podcasts on a note. I don't even know what we're talking about. Fucking no. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and go,
Music intro. Wow. I think we're good.
Well, we've just got around the wrong order for it today.
fuck.
His list is fucked.
but I'm going to wake up tomorrow and go, why's my throat so sore? Like, I won't even know what I've done.
Because the intergalactic aliens.
Interdimensional aliens.
I got fucked by a homosexual frog.
They put anal probes in frogs for their experiments and they become actors and actresses.
So what are we talking about?
No, I'm going to introduce the bullshit. Ready?
Are you still trying to think of a name for Sam?
No, I've got it.
No, okay.
Fuck off. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing here. I'm a professional. I'm fucking the talent of this show. I told you, don't piss me off, because I'll go and create my own YouTube channel. You know what it'll be?
It'll take you 10 years to figure
Yeah,
out.
well, I won't know what to do, but you know what? I'll tell you who'll fucking help me. I'll tell you who will help me.
It won't be fucking Pete.
No, because you know why? He's a suppressive personality. He won't. He's an SP, man. He's changed. But I know who will help me. You know who will help me? And I'll introduce him now. Serious Sam. He will help me. Let's introduce his book. I got to sing the song. I got a fucking song too.
All right.
Get ready for it. I only know the few words in it.
That sounds like the last one.
No, but I looked it up on Google. I was very smart. You ready for this one? Good times, yeah, good times. Ain't we lucky we got 'em? Do. Good times.
There's another example where we don't need to worry about demonetization.
Yeah.
'Cause I,
Okay, you know
none
why?
of us have a clue.
Do
what
you know
fucking
why I
song
said
that
the
was.
good times?
No.
Shut the fuck up. You know why I said the good times? Because we've got a live studio audience here.
We have.
Like they did in the 70s. You know when they used to...
It's the
Is
other
this-
two listeners.
The two listeners are fucking listening live. I feel pressure.
There's no point
They're
to put
judging.
this out
You know
there,
they're judging me. Look at the ass king. I feel very exposed. I don't like them looking at
Put
me.
your pants back on.
I know. They're laughing at me. I pointed Bixby Vision at it, and it said it was a cyst. And I've not been the same since. I've been really fucking... I've been down in the dumps. Because after Bixby Vision said, oh, it's a cyst, I was very down in the dumps.
We should have some Smiths going in the background.
Oh, yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Well, the Pickle Bear, I got him onto the Smiths too, and I got him onto probably the most depressing album of all time.
What?
Stabbing Westward, Darkest Days. Have you ever heard that?
No, I did Google it.
Oh, fuck.
It's not. Put it this way: it's not easy listening.
It's not easy listening. But it's really...
It's no Nine
Well,
Inch Nails,
you know
Pretty
the-
Hate Machine.
Oh, you didn't get to that, did you? With
No,
your
I
little
didn't.
smart little
Fucking-
list. Oh, you thought
I
you were so
forgot
clever.
about it. I just remembered.
Let me introduce the show and we'll get to it. This is Invert the Why, episode number 12.193 fucking niner, version $300 million fucking Windows 95. I don't know what it is anymore. I don't even know what I'm doing. But this is the only podcast sponsored by their mother and the only podcast powered by the love of fucking fairy bread or waffles or lamingtons. I don't know. And what was the other shit we had for lunch?
Jalds it.
Jalza.
It was very nice.
I like the jalza.
Is our audience pissing herself right now?
No, they're fucking looking at me like he needs help. But I know I do. And I don't care anymore. When you're in my position in life and you've got a cat that fucking stinks and that's all you've got in your fucking miserable bullshit existence, you don't care anymore. And you get on this bullshit because the internet's given me a platform to rant and rave. We're joined by Serious Sam and we got him back, Rocket Russell. He's back. We've got a four-way.
I know.
We've had a four-way before.
Several times.
Yeah, but we've got a four-way now. We convinced Serious Sam and he's now trying to get the fuck out of it. You can tell he's getting further and further away from the microphone. He's like this. He's like, Haven't we got a thing to go to? And the better half's like, no, we're cool. No, we
He's
do.
going to be like Spit Roast soon to fucking run upstairs.
Yeah, Spit Roast was halfway through the podcast. He goes, I got to do a shit. We never saw him again. Yeah, that hasn't come up yet. Because again, I would say that you would have heard it on the fucking Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, and all that bullshit.
TuneIn, yep. Fuck, how do you remember that?
Because it's on my brand new Samsung S10 Plus.
Fuck me.
And well, because I'm better than you. What have you got, a diddly X iPhone bullshit 8, whatever it is? Not me.
I don't have the income.
I've got the income and the power, motherfucker. And I got TuneIn on it. And the other night I used the TuneIn. I didn't subscribe
Use
to
TuneIn more because we get paid when you use that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Please use TuneIn.
Please
use TuneIn.
I need a new table desperately.
TuneIn. Oh, look at the budget. The fucking microphones are fucked. But anyway,
the microphones are good. It's the table that's broken.
It is really bad now. Now I can actually see what you're saying. Well, why don't you drill another hole in it?
Because
That's
it's
what
going to
she
happen
said.
again. That's what she said. Fucking hell. Can you just get on with the show?
Why do I have to be the lead?
I don't know.
I'm going to do it anyway. Fuck it.
I can just do it straight away. Let's just talk about Brexit.
Oh, they've extended the deal.
Now, did you bottle it all up, Serious Sam?
I may have a small amount of rage about
Do
it.
it. Let it rip, man. You'll feel better. I'm telling you, you'll feel better. Get that microphone in here and rant.
He's fine. He doesn't need to bring it any closer. He's fine.
Rant. Yep. Do it, man. What do you feel about Brexit?
I think it's been really well executed.
That's what.
Remember before I was talking about the guy I was watching who said any referendum, so anything that's put to the public, 2 years in advance, they should take all the warning stickers off everything because general population is not smart enough to be able to deal with a referendum.
By the way, we love our subscribers in the
love
UK,
them,
and I love my subscribers in the US. In fact, I love all my subscribers.
Well, that was in relation to Brexit.
As long as they listen to us on TuneIn and we get some money to get rid of this bullshit fuck-off table that we've got with this microphone that's ending up in the cyst that Bixby caused my penis that keeps going further down as I speak. I want everyone to use iTunes. No, that fucking TuneIn. Fuck this brain. Yep. Have you ever seen Spock's Brain, the Star Trek original episode?
No.
Oh, fuck. We can't talk about that. Talk about Brexit and rant. So I look good for a minute.
It's a hard one.
It's hard.
It's a large topic. You can't just embrace it. But
Just yell in the microphone. You'll feel better. And go, fuck this fuck off bullshit. You'll feel better.
that's pretty much summing up my feelings.
And
It's
if you
just
want to
fuck
use
this
the
bullshit.
C word, don't worry about the live studio audience. He's got a Super Mario sound effect.
I've heard the sound.
Yeah.
He got overused a couple episodes ago.
You could say it right.
Do you have any idea how long that fucking thing took me to edit?
I might do it to fuck him up. No. I'm worried about the live studio audience is throwing me off. I fucking can't do it. Let's not talk about Brexit. Topic of the show. You went through your list of bullshit.
I went through my list of
Have
bullshit.
you purged?
I have.
Have you
purged.
said everything you wanted to say?
Well, there was what we just brought up, the best 9 Inch Nails album, and I disagree that Downward Spiral is the best. I'm going to stick my hand
You
out.
would be wrong.
My God Almighty King!
No,
What's
hang
going to
on.
happen? Find out on people.
Pretty Hate Machine is the best album they have ever released.
You say they, it's more he, isn't it? But
Trent Reznor. Well, it was all about him, wasn't it? Didn't he get like as a revolving door of musicians to be?
Yes.
he's the only
Yeah, a
consistent
bit like
member.
Queens of the Stone Age. There was always a revolving door of musicians that were basically
Filter's the same.
Filter's the same. They're another example of that. So,
Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
that's another fucking. You're going way back.
No, I
Not
saw him
that
in
far.
concert the other week. Fuck off, I'm going back. I'm not that old.
No,
Well,
but
maybe a couple of months ago, but you know.
You want some
Well,
early 2000s pseudo-punk.
you don't agree with his assessment.
Hang on, he needs to come back because Pickle Bear was there with me and he loved the concert. We had a blast.
Well, the Pickle Bear's in a bit of a dilemma because the Pickle Bear is right now making furious notes because he's on here next week, but maybe not because this little motherfucker loads up shit when he feels like it.
well, so
I
he
don't
won't know about this. That's brilliant.
He may or may not. Who knows what's going to happen in this bullshit podcast?
This episode will be released on Saturday, the whatever next week's date is.
Saturday 2009 version 1.11 episode 30 million.
He's going to start doing star dates.
He's
Nobody knows what the fuck it means.
Captain's
going to
log.
fucking do it now. He's going to be episode log 29 3.2, the USS fuck off Invert The Why found a random Class M planet and went fuck it. And dumped all their bullshit toxic waste with it and decided that, you know what they're going to do?
We're back on Brexit.
Yep, they're going to fool a bunch of idiots to leave the European Union and then decide that that wasn't a great idea, but it was.
No, don't decide it's not a bad idea. Just leave it. It's like, you know, it's happening next week. We might do something about it. Maybe, maybe not. It's only the lives of 65 million people. Doesn't seem like that'd be fucking important.
I knew I'd do it. If I just jabbed a little bit, if I just gave him a little bit of a nudge, he'd fucking warm up. I knew it. I knew it. He'd do it. I knew he'd do it because I can piss off anybody.
You've got a talent.
I've got a talent. I used to do it at work all the time. Like before I retired, I used to fucking piss everybody off, and I go, you know what? My work here is done. I'd go into a party when I was invited to parties.
Which never happens.
Which never happens now because I'm fucking as popular as the fucking smelly cat that I have. And I used to walk into a room and go, so how about that idea? And they'd go, oh, fuck you, man. Oh, my work here is done. And they'd all be like arguing about bullshit. Pretty Hate Machine. You don't like it. You don't like Nine Inch Nails.
No,
Okay, I'll tell you the story. I
don't have strongly held views. Let me put it that way.
Well, let's create some strongly held views because I want a fucking wrestling match right now. I want someone to be slam dunked in this bullshit table.
And it won't take
I don't think it will take a lot.
But that's what they were in the wrestling. They were all tables that
Pretty much from Bunnings.
Like
Yeah.
picnic table.
They just
Pre-cut.
broke. Yeah, they just broke.
Pre-cut.
And Jay will be like, my God Almighty! But Rocket Russell contacts me in the week and he says, I've got some notes. And I'm like, oh, here we fucking go. Someone's been listening and someone's been disagreeing with me. Where
Yes.
I'm fucking God and I know everything.
Allow me
Well,
to
you
retort.
don't.
Allow me to retort, he says.
Going
Well,
back to that
okay.
conversation about going into churches feeling awkward when you say shit like that.
Well, you know what? Fuck that, because I know everything.
Well, that's not true because you say you know everything, but you're saying Downward Spiral's the best album.
I said it's their most recognisable album. I think people associate that album with Nine Inch Nails more than the Pretty Hate Machine album. But I listened to.
I'm just going to put it right out there. I think Nine Inch Nails are highly overrated.
Oh!
Wow, that comes right out of left field.
No, I'm just going to say.
It's not everyone's taste, but fuck you.
Yeah, you know what? Rocket Russell.
As somebody who does music pretty often,
No, fuck you,
I think
man.
they are overrated.
Oh! No, I don't
Overrated.
agree.
Overrated.
It's
like
pretty,
Nirvana,
it's pretty good to
fucking
work to.
overrated.
Like, if you just put your headphones on and
Yeah.
you work into it, it's pretty good.
Now listen.
Because it's kind of non-music. So.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I'd rather masturbate with a cheese grater.
Why would fucking anyone want to do that? Really? Seriously?
Exactly. Why would anyone want to listen to Nine
No,
Inch Nails?
I used the Power Glove.
I saw that today and I made a comment of,
saw
hey,
it.
fucking touch
Yeah,
that thing.
he came over to my place and he saw the Power Glove and he's like, "Fuck, I'm not
don't touch
touching
it."
that."
No way in
I have
hell.
cleaned it
Yeah,
multiple times.
let's get one of those funky lights and see how clean it's come up, eh?
You don't want to do that in my place. There's shit everywhere.
The cat on the chair.
Cat, yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's all the cat's fault.
If it's on the cat, we've got a real problem. Imagine if they got the UV. What have you done to your cat? Fuck. RSPCA gets a phone call. You
Look,
fuck.
I'm sure you're not the
Cat looks
first, and
like
I'm
a
sure you
painter's
won't be the
radio.
last.
Can you imagine? No, I'm just saying Nine Inch Nails.
Yes.
If we're talking about that, I did listen to Pretty Hate Machine this week as an album, and I do agree with you. I think it's a better album. What I'm saying is, people associate Nine Inch Nails more so
Yes.
with that Downward Spiral album. Whether it's better album or not is subjective.
Look,
but
I think
I'm
it's got
saying,
a couple of the songs on it. Pretty Hate Machine you can put on at the start and listen to the
I
entire
agree.
album.
I agree.
Whereas I find with Downward Spiral,
hard.
I skip.
It's hard.
There's a lot of skip.
yeah.
I'm too old to listen to albums where I just don't want to listen to the whole album. I am not into music these days where I actually find it grating for the first 3 or 4 spins. I don't know why I would bother.
You've changed, man. You've sold out.
I haven't sold out. I just listen to music that actually has some level of musicology attached to it.
Oh, fuck, here we go. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about his bullshit. Was that the end of your grievance list?
No,
Okay, cool.
We're all clear.
Serious Sam, have you got a grievance list? Get it out now, because I've got a topic of the show, and it's a cracker. What?
I'm laid back, calm as a Hindu cow.
You fucking won't be. Topic of the show, I want to talk about it. Formula One, right?
Yep.
Because I got Rocket Russell up here for that. My background story, I have not missed a race since 1996. Even when I was fucking half dead in a hospital, I fucking still watched it. I pleaded with people, let me watch this bullshit. And I watched it, and I kept watching, and I haven't stopped. There's a fucking rabbit hole I can't get out of.
I'm in the same boat.
You're in the same boat.
Mine goes back further, because I remember getting up with my father at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to watch
bullshit.
F1.
It was bullshit. I mean, I watched it before that too, but I would miss a few races here and there. I have not, but since 1996, I have not missed a race one time, right? And I remember even getting up at fucking 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock at night, and you'd have, remember Alan Jones and Daryl Eastlake would be the commentator, the Australian hosts of the show, and then they'd go to the live feed, the English feed.
Well, this is back in the day when it was on Channel whatever.
Channel 9 had it, and then
Ages.
Channel 10 got it and butchered it.
Yep.
Right?
And they've continued that trend.
Well, they butchered it that much, they took it off them.
Yeah, and look, I shit on Foxtel, but Foxtel have it, and they've got the Sky F1, and I love the Sky F1.
Fucking
Sky F1 by far is the
That's
best.
awesome. I love it. Right? He might disagree because he's got... I don't know what he's doing, but it makes me uncomfortable.
He's next to you.
He's
so
trying to get the fuck out of here. That's what he's trying
He
to
wants to... He's questioning... But see, this is what we do. It's like a Venus flytrap. We get people in, we go, come pretties. Right? Come my pretties. We'll feed you with lamingtons and...
I'm not
what was
sure
the
if
other
that's
one?
Flash Gordon or just a bit rapey, to be honest.
What was that other one? What do we have for lunch? Wok chai.
fucking wok chai. The fuck?
I don't know. What was it called again?
Jalza.
Jalza. Right, we feed them with that shit, and we go, oh, it's all good. No, then we get.
I don't think Ray would appreciate you calling her handmade dumplings that shit.
No, it was good.
They were really
No, they're really good.
They were really
I
good.
can't do this live studio audience, man. It's fucking freaking me out, man. Because now it's like looking into my mind. But
God, that's a scary place.
oh, it's not a good place, man.
The thing is, it's just like an echo fucking... You can hear the air passing through.
He teases me.
Get the torch.
He puts me down, and he doesn't realise when I go home I cry.
Do you want to
In the fetal position?
No, not really.
Are you in the fetal position?
Yeah,
whilst
I
crying?
wake up every night and my pillow's soggy.
That's more to do with the chatterbait than anything else, mate.
I told you, in the next life, I'm coming back as a hot chick, and I'm getting on the webcams, and I'm fucking doing it.
Shaking those cans on the webcam.
Yep. And I'm going to make a fortune, and I won't even have to leave the fucking house.
Well,
I'm telling you now. You know it to be true, and it's going to happen. If there is a God and there's reincarnation, he says, I'll give you what you want, you fuck.
you fuck. I can just imagine God in his big white robe going, I'll give you what you want, you fuck.
Send it the pearly gates.
He will to me. Said Peter about the pearly gates, goes, you know, don't come in, you fuck.
What the fuck do you think this place is?
We better drive careful down the hill, man, because we've seen some bad shit today, dude. We're going to be very, very careful. I'm like, oh. But where was I going with this?
I don't know.
Formula 1, 96.
Oh, yes. Now, where was I going? I'm fucking confused now.
You haven't missed a race in a very long time.
Yes,
Yep.
a very long time.
Very long time we were talking about.
And
Channel
now it's
9.
back with it's Foxtel have got
Foxtel.
it. Do free-to-air have it at all?
They have the Melbourne race, and that is it.
They used to have more than that last year, though, didn't they?
No, last year, no.
But at one time when Foxtel got the rights,
They had it for a little
think
while.
they
They were
had-
doing alternate races.
they had 4 races or exclusively on 10 and whatever it was.
And then Fox had everything.
Fox has
else.
got everything, but good. Fuck them. Because you know why? It's awesome now. It's what I want. I want to see all the shit. I want to see qualifying. I want to see all the bullshit interviews. I want to see it all.
The in the pits stuff, yes.
Yes.
No, it's so much better now.
Yes. Good.
It's just a pity the cars suck now.
It's just a pity you're paying Murdoch a shitload of money for the
yeah.
privilege.
What don't you like about the cars?
Feels like they're about 5 minutes from having a windscreen for a start.
Well,
Well, I don't like the Halo.
I'm not a fan of the Halo. I understand it. Not a fan. Although, I mean, the controversy around it died off rather quickly, didn't it?
Like the drivers.
Oh.
going back to that, we better be careful
You know
driving
what?
down the hill.
Do you know what? I'm going to make a comment. He doesn't want to be here.
But he's fucking enjoying
But
it.
Serious Sam is fucking awesome.
No, mate.
He's just
awesome
with
on
little
the
jabs in the
microphone.
background.
He doesn't want to be here, man. But I'm telling you now, he's good. He's loving it. He's secretly inside dying and crying. And there's a lot of nerd dirt you got to wash off that won't come off. But who gives a fuck? Yeah, so the Halo, I'm not a fan of the Halo either. But you know what? It's going to stay forever now.
It
what
proved
was,
its purpose last year.
yeah, what was it, Spa? When the big crash happened.
And it went over the Halo.
I actually think it did save him.
Oh, well and truly.
Yeah.
Well, you look, back when you hit the, before the Halo.
Yeah, there was an incident where
went off track.
Wasn't it Raikkonen went over the top of Alonso a couple of years ago, and it almost cut Alonso's arm off when the car went straight across him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you got the other one where it did kill the dude.
Yes.
Where he came off the track and hit the safety car.
Well, you've got to think even going back
would
to
have saved
Senna's
Senna
day.
back in the day, wouldn't it?
Would have saved Senna for sure.
Well, was it?
Would it really?
Well, yeah,
his
the wheel
impact
came
was-
at his head, so...
Yeah, but the impact... I mean, I still remember watching that race
I did too. I
live.
watched that.
And I still, to this day, remember sitting there with my dad, and as the car ricocheted back onto the track, sitting there going, he's dead.
Yeah, I did too. You could tell something was really wrong when Murray Walker just went completely quiet.
Yep.
And he was in that car for a very long time, because normally they jump out, even if they're
He didn't move.
pinned, they
Did not
sort of
move.
make but he wasn't moving, and he was slumped.
Yep.
And I went, he's really in trouble. Hopefully he's blacked out, but that wasn't the case. He died. But that situation was
tragic.
a bit weird, because they reckon the suspension broke.
Yeah, well, this court case is still going on. I think it's only just about to wrap up now, where the Senna family's still suing Williams.
Yeah, but that's also tied up with the Italian law.
Yeah,
Because it happened in Imola, remember?
Yep.
And the Italian law says that you're guilty until proven innocent on those sorts of situations. So they've had to go to the courts, and they've had to try and defend themselves by saying, no, we weren't negligent. The car...
because they blame
it was
the
an
suspension.
It was an act of God, or it was an unknown or unforeseen issue.
Well, one of the reasons at one stage was they were using ultra thin suspension
Yeah.
components that weren't tested properly.
Yeah.
You know, it was tragic.
Is he the best driver for you, ever? Senna?
He's one of them. I mean, you watch anything with him, the guy. Any interview with any Formula One star, they will all tell you the same thing.
get that bitch up there.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
right.
They'll all tell you the same
the
thing. He had
dangler,
a
whatever the
presence. He walked into a room and you could have your back to him, but you knew he was in the room.
See, nothing beats those days with Prost and Senna. That was awesome, man. And you know what I love? See, people don't get why I really like Formula One. It's not so much the racing, even though that's what I do enjoy. It's the drama off the track. Like very recently, Jason Relaxation was watching the Netflix series. Have you watched that?
I'm halfway through it at the moment.
Do yourself a favour, Serious Sam. Watch the Netflix series called...
Even if you're not a massive Formula One fan,
it's awesome. It's drama at its
so
best.
well done.
Because that bit where... what's it called? Drive to Survive? Is that the name?
Drive to Survive's a show.
Yeah.
Yep.
That bit where Renault and Red Bull hate each other.
He's gone, you took away our engine.
Yeah.
I'm taking away your driver.
That's right. So Cyril Abiteboul and Christian Horner
He's a
hate
loose
each
cannon.
other, and he's a loose cannon. And he says, "Well, you've got no place in being an F1 because
You're just a silly sugary drink.
yeah."
That was brilliant.
That was
wasn't
brilliant
it?
when he said, "You're just a silly energy drink company. You got no place in Formula One." We're Renault. We're the biggest, largest car
We're one of the
manufacturer.
world's largest manufacturers.
And he said, "You know what? I'm going to hurt you, Red Bull, for ditching our engines." He was quoted as saying that, "I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to take your best driver."
And he did.
And then Christian Horner was a prick as well, because then he came up to him and he said, "Well, can you even afford your engines now that you paid so much money for our driver?"
Yep.
And I love that shit. That's awesome. You can't beat that's drama.
Well, you got to...
Christian Horner's great at creating that kind of stuff.
but he's a funny character. Have you read Mark Webber's book?
I fucking hate him.
Yeah, okay, get it in. I did. See, I poked.
I know, you
I
poked.
fucking poked.
I was waiting for it.
'Cause
I've never been a Mark Webber fan. And
I've met him.
lucky you.
Yeah, I know. I met him. I'm just saying I met him. And it was quite nice because I went up to... Because our auntie used to work with David Campese.
Yeah, we've got all the... If you go up the hall there, I've got a whole bunch of stuff.
So the story is... David Campese was a very big sponsor of him back in the day. Cause,
back in the day before Formula One. Yeah.
Yeah, back in Formula 3.
Yeah.
Look, my judgment on Webber is purely based on the fact that he's a good driver, don't get me wrong. Anyone who makes it into Formula
You have to
1
be shit hot.
is a shit hot driver. But in the pool of Australian drivers that were in the F3000 at the time, he wasn't the best.
Yeah.
He comes third to, Craig Lowndes.
Yes, that's right.
Difference
People
is
forget
Craig
that too.
Lowndes didn't have the money that Webber had.
That's right.
Craig Lowndes had to pull out,
Yep.
come back to Australia because he was out of money. Webber's parents are loaded. And they've thrown all that money at him. He's got the Telstra sponsorship and all that
He
kind
had
of
the
stuff.
Yellow Pages. Was it Yellow Pages?
Yellow Pages or Telstra.
Yeah.
But I also think, it says it really well in the documentary series or the docu-series on Netflix that really the difference between drivers is often the
How much money you
sponsorship,
can
how much
bring.
money they can bring to the table.
I'll make a comment. Back in the 90s, there were a lot of paid drivers out there. Though it was silly.
There
Like,
still are. Lance Stroll. I mean, he shouldn't
but you
have
know
a
what?
seat, but his dad bought a team.
yeah, well, Ocon should still be racing. But my
Yes.
point is, yes, Lance Stroll is a paid driver and his dad's a billionaire and he's bought a Formula One team. But he's got more talent than a lot of these drivers had back in the 80s and the 90s that were paid drivers.
Oh,
Remember they
big
had,
time.
like, there was so many, like, I'll throw one out there. Pedro Diniz was one. He had a big bankroll of I can't remember the company that bankrolled him, but he was a billionaire.
Yes.
And he was a billionaire's kid, and he basically jumped into the seat of I think it was an Arrows or something like this.
Back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day. Pulling it out of my ass, I'm not bad. And he was basically he was a pretty shit driver. Now, those paid drivers are at least semi-reasonable. Like, Lance Stroll did pretty well.
He did well,
in the
but
Aussie
I don't
GP.
think he should have got a seat this year.
No, I don't
I
either.
think some good drivers were dropped.
Well, Ocon's one.
Ocon is-
Ocon should be in that seat.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is those paid drivers, those multi-millionaire
And,
kids...
and I understand the teams need those kind of drivers because they need the money. It's
Like
all
Williams.
about the money.
Well, at the end of the day, they wouldn't have a team if that hadn't have happened, though.
Well, Williams are surviving on that. Because they're fucked. I think Williams are gone, man, to be honest.
So sad.
No. Would you have ever believed back in the 90s
No chance.
when they were winning multi
Look at the FW18. I mean,
so many races and championships that one day you'd say they're at the back of the grid, but not by much, by seconds.
Yeah.
They were so far off the pace, and you'd be saying, well, you got to be mad. How could they be so far off the pace?
The standout for Williams for me is the fact that they bought Kubica back. And his
Do you think?
Oh, look, you've got to give the guy credit.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll
he
give him
broke
credit.
Every bone in the right-hand side, or was it left-hand side of his body?
He nearly lost his arm, didn't he?
But he broke every bone in one side of his body.
In a rally
In a
race.
rally thing, because he did rally, like a lot of Formula One drive. Mika Hakkinen was famous for doing rallies afterwards. He'd go between races and do rallies. It's what they do. It's, they're those kind of
Crazy
guys.
sins.
They're one of the best drivers, man. Mika
You
Hakkinen,
do two driving tests in Finland. That's one of the
Yes.
reasons why they're so good. You have
Yeah.
to do one in the summer, one in the winter.
Yep.
Makes
They're the
sense.
best drivers. But people forget Mika Hakkinen had a near-death experience driving the
Yes.
McLaren. Remember in the mid-90s in
And that was-
in Adelaide.
And that was one of the reasons. I mean, I'm listening to another podcast. I'm not going to say its name at the moment. They're talking to
Well, they're not
David
as good as
Coulthard.
us.
No, we're near as good as you.
No,
they're
we're-
talking to David Coulthard, who's saying he felt.
We're not talking to David Coulthard.
No.
No, we rejected his offer.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're so busy.
Sorry, David, we don't have room for your chin.
Your chin can't fit in the room.
We're so busy. We can't afford people like David Coulthard.
Get out.
No, because
His diva demands it
he's.
too much.
You know what? I'll fucking say it.
Is he as bad as Potter?
He was like Stevie Nicks in the 70s. He wanted a bowl of Coke and he wanted fucking Skittles. And like Pottery Pete, he's making bullshit phallic symbols with pottery and I won't have it. So
On
anyway,
a side note, we're talking about
Yep.
the bowl of Coke. I was listening to a thing the other day about Fleetwood Mac Tour of Australia.
yep.
Each concert had to have, I think it was.
Have you read Hey You in the Black T-shirt?
That's a good book.
Is it?
That's the guy that did all the
promotion.
tours.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was him doing the
Yeah,
interview, and he was
yeah.
talking about every concert had to have 6 cases of Heineken.
Yep.
And the roadie'd walk in the morning, or before the concert, he'd take all the caps off. He'd fill them all with cocaine, and he'd line them, have a on a bar next to the stage.
Yep.
So any Fleetwood Mac concert you see where they're walking off stage, they're there to get a Heineken cap of Coke.
Yep.
Side note,
Yeah, he
sorry.
wrote it in the book. It's
I didn't parse cap with that. I thought you meant the can full.
No, the cap.
That's a lot of cocaine.
They had to be bottles, and you go through, take the
I'd
caps off.
fucking do it. If I was a music star, I'd be fucking in rehab every day. You wouldn't get me out. I'd walk out going, yeah, I'm clean.
Mate, I reckon after.
And I'd be, as soon as I got in the car, I'd be like,
Mate, I reckon after your meds, you probably wouldn't even notice.
oh, fucking kill it. They can't do it. I'd do anything. You know what? I had so many needle marks on my arm one time. I said Amy Winehouse would go out with me now because I fucking look like a junkie. That's a fucking true story. I look like a junkie.
Have you seen the new Ricky Gervais show?
No.
Humanity?
Do yourself a
fuck.
like. He's a bit hot and cold, Ricky Gervais. Like he has some funny moments.
not
Have
a
you
big
seen the
fan.
TV show?
Yeah, the
Afterlife?
Yeah, Afterlife. That's the one.
I've been told by a very good friend to watch it.
You
You
have
will
to watch
love
it.
it.
You
Yeah,
will love
I've
it.
His
heard about
superpower is being an asshole.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
me.
Yeah.
I'm great at it.
Basically, when I first saw it, I've gone, "This is Dano," and I think I said it to Ray. I've gone,
Okay, so a friend of the show,
yeah,
he also said to me,
You have to see it.
It's me.
Yeah,
it's basically
it's
my
you.
life. Well, he just doesn't give a fuck.
He stops giving a fuck.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yep. Oh, it's you all
Like
over.
this podcast.
And
Fuck
him
this
being
podcast.
Ricky Gervais is quite hilarious when he goes off at people.
Oh, that's what I do. I was going off at the election yesterday. Fuck it. Anyway, back to Formula
Back
One.
to Formula One.
So how go Formula One? Yeah, I actually, instead of just talking straight about Formula One, I want to get your opinion on the new Formula One. So the what are your
I can tell
feelings
you by
about
his
that?
face.
I think it sounds like that frog. Like the
Okay, so I will go to Eddie Jordan on this one. Eddie Jordan has made a great comment in the last couple of weeks. If that's the direction of Formula One and racing in the world, check me out now. I'm not fucking interested. Look, the cars from the arse end,
They look good.
they look amazing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just pathetic. There's no sound. It's just...
I laughed when I first saw it and they were jumping out of the cars halfway through the race to jump into a fresh car because the
Battery's gone.
battery ran out. And you know what I said to myself? If this is the future, I'm done.
But at
Fuck
the same time, I mean, I agree. I think it's kind of a ridiculous sport at this point.
But you know what
But the technology, you got to think Formula One and the contribution that Formula One has made for road cars as we currently
You know,
stand.
it's actually a proven fact that Formula One technology has had less influence on road cars than people think. It's actually had more influence on the aeronautics industry. So planes and that kind of stuff
That would make sense.
is more prevalent to Formula One
Aerodynamics
research.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
But this is what worries me about Formula One today, and we'll get to this now, is obviously there's a new owner,
Liberty Media.
Liberty Media, and they've done some good things.
They have.
But I'm a bit concerned about how they keep going to the rule book and deciding that they're going to try things, which I can understand why they want to do it. I don't like this get a point for a lap.
I actually don't. I think it's going to bring something interesting later on in the season because, I mean, you watched the race.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
We had 3 people in that race all going...
In the latter part of that
Bottas
race.
wanted to pit so he could get a fresh set of tyres to make sure he got that point.
But this
'Cause
is
he knew he
me
wasn't gonna
being-
get- yeah.
But this is me being a purist.
yes,
right?
being a purist.
It creates, it's artificial.
Yes.
And I've always said, why don't you get, there's a couple of things. Why don't you, if you're going to do points, why don't you give points for people that get pole? Like,
Yep.
if you're going to be, okay, because I know 9 times out of 10 at the moment, Mercedes are going to get a pole because they're the fastest car. That's what we think at this point in time.
Yeah, and that's blown us all away, hasn't it?
Yeah, but if you're going to give pole, like if someone gets pole, give them the point, right? And I've always had a big problem with how if you change an engine part, the driver gets penalised.
Yes.
Why? That's bullshit, right? And this is what annoys me about it. They're willing to make those sorts of changes by putting in points for fastest lap, but they won't change the fundamental problems of I had to change an engine part because my Honda engine shit itself or whatever it is, and now I'm fucked. I'm at the back of the grid. The team should be penalised for that race. They shouldn't get any constructors points or something like this. I
Yep,
don't,
or a deduction.
or just some
constructors points.
sort of penalty. But why is the driver penalised for the issues of the
because he's already
of
been
the
penalised
manufacturer?
enough by being dropped back positions
That's
from having
right.
a shitty
That's right. I don't get it. But this is what annoyed me when I heard about that rule that they were bringing in, which is giving a point to the fastest lap of the race. I thought, well, fucking anyone can get that. You could be back of the. You could be.
No, you got to be in the top 10.
Oh, that's right. You could be in the top
definitely
10.
couldn't. I couldn't get it. No chance.
Nah, my neck muscles aren't strong enough to,
Well, I could. Because I'd just do a bowl of coke before I got out there. I'd be coked up.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, no, not really, Mum. I don't do drugs.
So
Actually, I do drugs.
You think they're not?
You think they're not?
Jesus Christ. It's gone off the rails this weekend.
all
We've
over
worked
the
very hard this weekend. I'm very proud of
If
us.
this is your definition of hard work, mate.
It is
fuck.
for me. I'll go
He's
home.
retired, remember?
I'm retired.
Yeah.
I'll have a big sleep when I go home. I'll be like, my job is done this week.
So where do you see this season heading?
Unfortunately, much of the same. And I was going to ask you a big question. Okay, to answer that, but I'm going to lead into the big topic. Unfortunately, I see more of the same. I can't see anyone breaking the stranglehold of Mercedes. Ferrari will get definitely a lot closer. I think maybe
They're in massive post-mortem.
Well,
what
they-
the hell?
They were
Yeah.
like properly surprised.
Yeah,
weren't
they-
well, they were.
They're
because-
shattered. Apparently, they're shattered. They've come out and said,
Yeah.
Bonotto, who's the team principal, has gone, we don't know what the fuck happened. And they're now going back to the drawing board going, but everything we did, all of our calculations, why the hell we were that far off the pace?
But then you go back and look at what year was it? Was it 2009? No,
Yep.
what year did Kimi win?
7. He ran,
So it was 2008 or
2007.
2009 where they had the same problem, where the car on paper looked amazing
Yep.
and they couldn't work out when it got to track why it was not doing what they thought it was doing. And it turns out the calibration of their wind tunnel
was
off.
That happened to Red Bull as well a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
They thought they had the ants pants of a chassis. They knew their engine power was down with the Renault, but they thought that they had the aerodynamics nailed.
And same as Ferrari did.
Yeah, and they brought it to the track and it was nowhere near where it should be. So Ferrari have come out this week and said, I try not to make it specific depending on what time this fuckwit loads it up to the internet with episode 12.13 fucking niner. But what I'm saying is that they've gone back and said this week, we don't know what the problem is. We think we should have the best thing on the track, but we don't know where it is.
Winter testing, when you take the tyres into consideration, they were running a different tyre to Renault. They were half a second quicker than the Mercedes.
Do you remember watching the... I don't know how far you got into it, but I was watching the... winter testing programs and the debates on where teams were, and at one point they were saying Mercedes have got it wrong because the wings are different this year, and they're completely different.
Well, between season testing 1 and testing 2, there was an estimated 1,400 parts changed on the Mercedes aerodynamics package.
Fuck, you're a nerd. That's more than I ever know. Fucking Jesus Christ.
It's amazing.
But they believe that their front wing might have been the wrong concept, and they were saying if they have to change that front wing,
that's big 2 months development.
That's 2 or 3 months development because the whole thing has to be changed. And so everyone was thinking, well, Ferrari have got this right. They've actually read the changes and regulations completely differently to everybody else, and they've got it right. Everyone else has got it wrong, and guess what? You're fucked. But then they turned up to Melbourne there, and they absolutely annihilated everybody. And I think the big surprise was actually Red Bull Honda. Yeah, because they actually did, apart from Gasly. I think Gasly's on shaky ground, to be honest.
I don't know how... he got the drive because there was no one left.
Yeah. But at
the end of the day.
But he's binned it 3 or 4 times in winter testing, and then he gets to Melbourne and he was nowhere. He should have finished way better than that. Yeah. And I hate that. You know why I hate that? Because I'm going to put my cards on the table now and get to the big topic point. I fucking hate Verstappen. I can't stand him. I want him gone. He's a smug little prick, and I'll give you another one. And I'm sorry, Serious Sam. This may upset you because he's a fellow countryman, but I can't stand Lewis Hamilton. I can't stand it. And it fucking bugs me every time he wins and he goes, oh, I didn't know I broke that record. You fucking did know you broke that record.
I'm sure the PR people in the team didn't tell you beforehand.
Yep.
Oh, if you get the qualifying, you've equaled Schumacher.
I was saying to Rocket Russell before we got on air when we were driving up, I said, did you know when he broke the pole record for the most poles, or he beat Senna's record?
Yep.
And at the time, you might not have seen this, but at the Grand Prix when he got pole, the Senna family presented him with the Senna helmet.
Oh wow.
Ayrton's helmet.
Wow.
Right. I don't know if it was what year helmet it was, but it was
definitely wasn't.
No, it wasn't that one. But it was one of
that one would be a bit awkward.
It was one of the McLaren. Fuck! Edit that out.
Oh, you can't.
That's bad juju, man. Fucking hell, Serious Sam. You are Serious Sam. Jesus Christ! You brought the mood down, man. No, but they presented him with a helmet.
With a helmet. Yeah,
I think it was the McLaren years because it was Honda. Had Honda on the helmet.
Yep.
And anyway, people got annoyed by that because he goes, oh, this is an honour. And I think he was moved. But then he put it on the grass and he ran off to the crowd and he was waving to the crowd. And I get he was caught up in the moment, but people got annoyed by that because they thought that was disrespectful. Because that's an iconic... Like I said to Rocket Russell, he could sell all of his... He could lose every bit of money that he's ever earned. He could lose his Mercedes contract. He could go and gamble. He could do some coke and fucking get a bunch of hookers and go to town and snort shit off their asses and lose everything.
Which is a Formula 1 driver is probably what he's doing.
That's what I'd fucking do if I was him. But he could sell that helmet and be still rich. Right?
That being said, I don't think it's probably the $40-something million.
No, it's not. But what I'm saying is that helmet's worth a lot, right?
Absolutely.
But then he put it on the grass, and people got annoyed by that. But I don't like him when he pretends that he doesn't know what's going on, and I don't like him when he doesn't do well and he gets grumpy. And I remember one of the
look at Melbourne.
Because you wouldn't do that, would you? Like you'd be really.
I'd be the worst fucking driver ever. Because I'd be saying,
mate, you're bad enough driving through Penrith.
Okay, if I was a Formula 1 driver, you know what I'd do? I'll get to that in a minute. You know what I'd do? I'd go, oh, fuck him! I had the fucking right of way. He cut me off, that prick. Fuck him! And I'd do wrestling. I'd walk up to one of the other drivers and pile drive him through the friggin' the crowd. You know what I mean?
Some sweet chin
Here's
music.
a crash!
But you know what? I do drive like that now, because you know when Formula One drivers get angry and they put their hand up? That's what I do when I drive the fucking Golf. I'm driving around and they cut me off and I go like that. Like they do on the game, they go like that. I think I'm a Formula One driver.
I reckon cars need to be fitted with a short range radio signal thing like they do for the pit lane.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, you fucking cock.
Yeah. You'd be doing that. You go, what's my tyres like? But no one's there because you've got this your button. I fucking lost pit radio, man. But I've told you, cars should have that. Spokey dokies installed and a fucking orange flag on the back, and maybe trestles on the doors. Yeah, you look like a fucking cheerleader.
How's that going to work in
Like a really
aerodynamics?
shit version of Mad Max.
You don't care. We never cared about aerodynamics.
It's like Piss Week World for Mad Max. It's beautiful.
Oh, that would be me and Mad Max. I'd be like, if I was in the Mad Max world, I'd be like, hang on, I don't want to take my car out because it'll get fucked up with that sand.
It'll be
of the
dirty.
V8s.
It'll get dusty.
Yeah, it'll get dusty, and people will be like, it's life or death, dude. We haven't got fucking
Nah.
time. I'll be like, no, I got
The tool cutter knows who I am.
I just did the wheels, man. I'm fucking not taking it out in the post-apocalyptic world.
It's alright, they'll all be electric by then anyway.
Oh,
Fuck electric cars.
yeah, fuck the
you.
dolphins. Fuck the dolphins and the electrics.
That's a segue into a ram. Whatever happened to that dolphin? You
No,
haven't
that's a ram. I don't want to do it today.
Yeah, but you haven't told that story yet.
Yeah, I'm
Everyone's like-
saving it. Don't fucking throw me off. We're talking about Formula One, you bitch. It's bad enough that you upload shit when I don't want you to upload. Even last night he has the audacity when I said to him, upload an episode because the fans are demanding shit.
He
And
had
he's-
literally 2 people message him.
Two
and say-
people messaged me.
He said, "When is
Both
the
the
next
fans.
episode going
Yeah,
up?" Not as in demanding.
I deleted mine. I was actually going to send him. I typed it out. I was going to send him a text last night saying, "How fucking dare you release an episode? I'm up to date."
Yeah, he did too. But I said that the fans are demanding an episode on Saturday night because they're losers like me. And I'm like, well, it's fucking, Jason
You know what it is?
Relaxation. He
It's
wants
Sunday. It's their church. They need to.
They come to me. I am the church.
Oh,
and
this
I'm
guy-
the preacher.
See, this leads back into televangelist from the last episode. Oh, sorry, from a previous episode.
Oh, man, I don't.
See, I covered myself.
This
You
is
did. Well done.
Yeah, see, because you don't know what he's
Oh,
going to
no,
do.
no.
He might upload this afternoon and go, it's uploaded, you fuck.
Why would I do that for?
I don't know what you do anymore. You just change the rules.
I've
and I
got
don't
video
like-
games to play, man. I ain't doing that.
Oh, yeah, whatever you reckon. You got a family to raise your fuck. You got no time.
There goes the mood.
So what don't you like about it? You don't like the cars?
The new ones?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I think Liberty, they're doing some good things.
I think they're doing a pretty good
And
job.
I understand what they're doing is to bring back some overtaking. Because, I mean,
They had
I
to.
watched an aerodynamics video a couple of months ago covering the aerodynamics of a Formula One car. And they are so intricate down to, we've designed this panel here because it's going to create a vortex. And that vortex will go down the side of the car.
It's going to fuck up
and
behind
it'll
us.
fuck up the car behind me. So
Yeah.
I think when they're
You
doing
know,
that,
you
They're
know
changing that next year.
No,
They're
no,
changing
no,
the
no,
rear
no,
wing.
no, 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 no. You know that they brought forward some of the concepts that they want to implement in 2021, which
Yes.
is the big overhaul of rules, and they brought it in for this year as a bit of a pilot because they've got a big problem, and the problem is all the drivers are saying, "We want to give you a better show, but we can't pass."
No.
Yeah, because that was
Dan Ricciardo still figures it out.
no. Look, he's a bit of a freak, and
yeah,
we'll get.
he's got it by the scruff. of the
We'll,
neck.
we'll get to him in a minute because I've got a question for Rocket Russell, which I haven't spoken to him about. I want to get his opinion on something. But they've got a... I don't believe what Bernie Ecclestone did back in the day, which was... Remember when, I think it was 97, they had the wide track cars, the slick tyres, and then in 98, they said, oh, the cars are getting too fast and too hard to pass. Let's make the cars narrower and groove tyres and all that shit, and we'll make the cars slower.
Worst few
Yeah,
years of Formula One.
then they had that concept for quite a while. Yes, they did bring back slick tyres, but then in 2017, I think it was, but before that, they'd come up with the concept. Bernie Ecclestone says, want more aggressive-looking cars for TV, and we want them faster because that's what the people want. But then the driver said, what are you doing? We can't pass each other now. If you give us cars which are wider and more grip and all that bullshit, we can't pass each other. And even Lewis Hamilton, who I don't like, had always said something very sensible. He goes, well, if that's the way they want to go, but it's not going to help anything. And so what they got in the pipeline is in 2021's a big reset of the rules,
Yep.
but no one's actually come out and said what that actually
No, they're not
is.
It's going to be like Mario Kart. Just
I
like
think it's going
arrows
to be
in a
Mario
row.
Kart, and you know what's
Mario
going to
Kart with a
happen?
halo. That's it.
And you get to throw bananas out every once in a while.
That'd be unreal.
I'd tune in.
Yeah, I would too. It'd be fucking unreal.
That'd be cool.
And they get to spin, and someone's like really,
Just drop mushrooms behind
your
you.
mushrooms and as they spin. But there's a big reset in 2021,
Yeah, and
and
no one knows what it is. That's the problem.
No.
Because they bought those rules
no,
for us.
and
They're
no
now
one's even
redesigned.
no one even knows what the rules are for the engines too, because that's where Renault's putting their money. Because Renault,
Well, that's what they've said. And that's why I feel
It's going
sorry
to be a
for
4-pot engine. Like, we're just bringing them down.
No,
It's like
they-
4 cylinders, we'll be done.
you know what they're gonna. Yeah, well, that'd be fucking. I reckon.
surprise me.
You know what I reckon they should do? They spice things up.
Bring back the V12s.
No,
That's never going to happen.
no,
know.
that was awesome when they
Fucking
had
Greens.
the.
Who voted for the Greens? I slap you.
I didn't. Fuck them. They,
Those
they were
silly
the ones that had
fuckers
the,
out there handing
They
out
had
the
the ones
paper.
more paper than anyone else. The fucking idiots. Save the environment. Well, fucking that looks really good at the moment with your fucking 20 piles of paper. You fuck.
Your high gloss paper
Oh,
too.
fuck
you
'em. I
fucking
walked
dumb
past
idiots.
all of them yesterday, and yes, I will come out and tell you that I didn't vote for those fucking idiots because I walked past and went, don't want your paper? Don't want yours either, you fuck. But that's another fucking story.
Yes, sorry.
But no, so, well, I don't know where I was going with it. You can't do that to me. My
Well,
brain doesn't work
They're
like
always going to be hybrid, and progressively
no,
more
well,
so.
you know what? Back in the day, that was cool when you had the different variations of the engines. Remember in the 90s, you had the V8s, the V10s, and you had the V12s. Ferrari always ran V12s. Because,
we liked they liked V10s
well,
as
Enzo said, I don't care about the chassis, give me the most powerful engine you can. So they had this big giant engine basically in the back of a car that didn't stay on the track. It was unreal.
What could possibly go wrong?
No, but Renault had it sorted out because they went halfway between and they had the V10.
You also
which
had
was
back in
unstoppable.
those days, you had what they called the detonator motors, which were the motors that were purely for qualifying.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, you'd qualify
Yep.
with this motor that was built
Change
to
it out.
last
Yep.
2 laps,
Yep.
and that was it.
That
And
was
then-
awesome, man. That was the thing would last literally 3 or 4 laps and blow up. Fucking awesome. But now they can't do that.
No, because
And-
it costs
but the
too
rule,
much.
but the rules are stupid too.
environment, the dolphins.
No, the dog. Fuck the dog. No, it's all about cost.
It's all about cost.
It's all about cost.
And look, I've followed a team, and it's not my fault that other teams have fallen by the wayside. We have a budget, and we will spend the budget, and that was part of the sale of the company. Was I don't care what you do, but the Formula One team always has what it wants when it wants. If you can't get up to that, like arrows and all that, fuck off.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing is all those little independent teams like Jordan Arrows.
You got no chance.
Well, they're all gone now.
Except for Williams. I don't know.
Well,
They got
you
all,
know-
all the
no.
money in the fucking world,
Well,
and they're useless as tits
no,
on
no,
a ball.
no, they actually don't.
They're running.
They're running
They're
dry.
in trouble.
They're in
real-
trouble. Well,
yeah,
they-
you know, I'll tell you what's happening. Here's the thing with Formula One. If you've been watching it long enough, it goes in roundabouts or a full circle.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, there was a lot of independent constructors.
Yep.
Like there was Arrows, there was Jordan, there was Footwork, there was I could
There's
go on
heaps,
and on.
yeah.
There was heaps, right? And Williams are part of that too. But then the big manufacturers came in, like Mercedes and
Mercedes more
Renault and
later.
But there was the big manufacturers. And so they gobbled up all of the independent teams,
Yeah, all the
and it's
money.
happened now.
Yeah.
So the big manufacturers are coming back in, and if you're a little team like Williams, you're in
You're
real
fucked.
trouble. You're
Yeah.
fucked. And I can foresee them being bought out. I can.
It's sad.
By somebody, whether it's a big Lance Stroll or what's his name, Lawrence Stroll, some entrepreneur that likes to do that. If I was an entrepreneur, I'd love to do that. I'd pimp my fucking out. I would pimp myself out. I would buy a Formula One team and I'd go, hey, ladies, I've got a fucking Formula One team. And they'd still say, doesn't matter. Point Bixby Vision at it and it's still a fucking cyst, you loser. It wouldn't matter. But I'd have a Formula One team and I'd sit there every weekend and go, look at my cars, I fucking made it. And I'd go up to my drivers and go, you're a cockhead, you're
But I thought the
fucking fired.
podcast was enough for you, mate.
No, I want more. I'm greedy.
Patreon, here we come.
I want Patreon. I'm going to be one of those guys that go, we'll never do Patreon because we believe in being independent. No, fuck it. I'll sell myself out quick and smart. You won't.
Give me a Formula One team. I'll
Give
do
me a
whatever you
Formula
want.
One team. I'd be selling my soul.
$20
break
is
it,
$20,
Mate, if you're
So if anybody would like to sponsor a desk,
yeah,
literally all we need is a
Look at
desk.
the budget. Look at it.
Does anyone actually have a desk lying around at home?
Oh, fuck
Please
it.
donate it too.
I actually do.
Yeah,
But I don't know how we would get it here.
I don't know.
I got a ute.
We both
Oh,
drive.
he's got a ute. We might go. But I need that table. What am I going to use?
What are you
Another one.
using
We'll
it
take
to?
this one back for you.
Well, it's right. It's got holes in it already.
Yeah, that might come in handy.
It's one of those special
Okay,
massage
let's
tables.
talk about the big topic. I haven't asked this guy the question. This is Rocket Russell. I want to ask him the question. My favourite driver right now, Daniel Ricciardo. I fucking love him.
Guy's a legend.
I wouldn't care if he wasn't Australian. I wouldn't care.
Bengal avocado.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just love the way he drives. Because I think he's probably the best racer out there.
And his demeanour.
Yeah, and his demeanour. He doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't give a shit.
And
And he's happy as Larry. He's where he
You would
wants
be
to
too if you're earning $44 million a year.
No, but you know what?
That's only the pay that we know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look at Michael Schumacher.
Sponsorship.
His final year with Ferrari was $92 million from Ferrari, but endorsements and sponsorship was
Yep.
nearly $200 million.
Well, you got to think Dan Ricciardo came from what, earning $6-7 million a year last year to now $44 million.
Okay,
this
so
year. He's in a pretty happy place.
But this is my question to Rocket Russell. I haven't asked
Mind
him
you,
this.
his boss is a fucking.
No,
loose
but I want to
cannon.
ask Rocket Russell this. So shut the fuck up.
Fuck you.
Fuck off. My podcast.
He's the
Bitch.
talent.
I'm the
apparently.
talent.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Draw your own fucking logo.
What's your opinion of him going to Renault?
Good move.
And do
I
you
think it's a
think
great move.
I do-
I actually feel sorry for him because, and everyone said this, and it's a known thing that Renault come and said, yes, we're going to sign you, but don't expect anything till 2021.
Yeah, we need some time.
We need time. We're in a rebuilding phase, but I think the general public is putting too much pressure on him.
I
They're
do too.
expecting more out of him this year, whereas and it's all
Actually-
these people who watch one Formula
Yeah,
One
yeah.
match a
I think people that know that, this guy.
yeah.
He paid $80 for a Renault hat. No, he didn't, but I'm just putting
Yeah.
shit on him. But I actually
Damn
think...
French.
Yeah, fucking French. But I'll tell you what, they have got a history of winning championships,
They
particularly...
go back to the 70s.
Well, that Enstone team, which was Benetton,
Yep.
which then became Renault, which then became...
Sauber, wasn't it?
No, they were... Oh, fuck. But they've had a history... they've won championships, this
Many
team.
championships.
And they're now Renault are becoming very aware that they're not getting the results they want to get. So they've actually increased their budget this year by a big way. And they're saying to him, and I'm sure they've said to him, listen, you won't win shit this year and you're not going to win shit next year, but 2021 is where we're aiming to be. And I think that documentary on Netflix is very telling, actually, because the way that Red Bull treated him was pretty poor.
You got treated like shit.
But, I mean, they didn't even... the counter offer was nothing.
Yeah, it was shit. But when you find out that your teammate, who's only been in the team 1 or 2 seasons,
He's earning more than you
who's younger than you and less experienced than you, and to be frank, hasn't got the results that you've got,
Not yet, no.
you're going to be shitty. And I think what he said was give me what he's got and give me some other love. And they said, oh no, we don't really want to see it.
There's no 1-2 drivers.
There's no
in our
1-2
team.
drivers, and we don't feel that that you're seeing it the way we see it. And I think he's going to go fuck yourself. That's what I think he said.
I'm sad that the other drives dried up for him.
Yes.
I would have loved to. I mean,
I love him at Ferrari, man.
Oh, being a Ferrari
Oh,
fan
yeah.
forever, I would have jizzed in my pants many times if I had seen that.
Is that
one.
a Super Mario sound?
Nope.
Okay. That's a...
We could have made soggy sayos.
Oh, that... Look at Serious Sam. Oh, Christ.
But yeah, I would have loved to have seen him in a Ferrari. And who knows, his career is still blossoming. He may
That's
end
the
up
thing,
there.
he's still young.
He's
got
still
time.
Well,
young. He's still time.
Like, isn't his contract only 2 years?
He's got
I
2
thought?
years, and he said that he'll assess everything at the end of next year.
And I mean, a lot of drivers like Lewis Hamilton, and they've all signed their contracts to finish in 2020 because no one's sure about the rule changes for 2021. And Lewis Hamilton, cock that he is, has already come out and said, yeah, I'll assess it when I see the new blueprints.
Do you know
for the
what?
cars.
I'm going to put money on it. I reckon he's going to go to Ferrari.
Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah.
I
I
would
reckon.
burn
I
my shit in
reckon.
a
I
heartbeat.
reckon he's got this little dream in his head. He wants to win at least another 1 or 2 championships with Mercedes, which he will do, and then he's going to go, you know what? I'm going to be the prick that'll do what Vettel can't do. I'll win a championship for Ferrari. I'll put money on it.
Look, Vettel's
I reckon he will.
not far off. I mean, if they sort out these problems, he's in with a good shot this year.
He should have done it last year.
Should have done it last
He
year,
binned
but
it,
he
man.
binned it. Yes,
He
blew
binned
it. He blew it himself. But the thing is, I mean, you look at Michael Schumacher when he left Benetton
Yeah.
as a world
But mind
champion
you,
at the top of the
that's
game.
the team that won the championships. It's now modern day Renault.
Yes, he left that team and went to a struggling Ferrari and spent how many years? Was it 5 years?
He went there in 1996, which was
96.
god awful, and he didn't win his first championship to 2000.
Yeah. So he went through the 4 years of
And
struggle
so
of
did,
rebuilding
so
the
did
team.
Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton left McLaren, which were winning back then, hard to believe, but they were. And then he went to Mercedes, and everyone went, "What are you doing? You're crazy." And they were nowhere, man. They were like Renault is now. They were in the midfield at best.
Yep.
And everyone's like, "You're crazy, Lewis Hamilton." And then he spent 2 years, I think, or 2 seasons in the mire, nowhere to be seen. And then all of a sudden, when the hybrid engines came in, bang!
And that's what they were waiting for.
He's never looked back. And so I think Daniel Ricciardo sat there and gone, "You know what? There's a precedent here, but I got a bad feeling." He hasn't got the luck of the Irish, man. He reminds me of a driver that was very, very talented. I'm going to throw one at you, and this is showing my fucking age and my nerdness. He reminds me of a very, very talented driver called Heinz-Harold Frentzen. Do you remember Heinz-Harol?
Who doesn't?
Now, Heinz-Harold Frentzen used to drive
One of
with
the
Michael, one of the greatest that never did a thing.
Yep.
He drove with Michael Schumacher in the Mercedes class. Now, I can't remember the name of the formula that was, but he was a stablemate and teammate of Michael Schumacher. He also, get this, Michael Schumacher took his girlfriend and married her. He stole Heinz-Harold Frentzen's girlfriend. This is why I love Formula One. He took Heinz-Harold Frentzen's girlfriend and married her, and this day they fucking hate each other because he goes, well,
You'd assume, yeah.
no, they did. They've been quoted. They fucking hate each other. But Heinz-Harold Frentzen was...
I'm not sure how much Michael Schumacher remembers.
No,
of
but before
hey.
that bullshit. Don't, man.
Hey, I'll look at my posters, mate. I'm the biggest Shuey fan you'll find.
No, that's me.
Yeah.
But,
Or him, maybe.
No. He let himself down in a couple of ways, but I'll get to that. But what I'm saying
You're talking
is,
about the comeback.
yeah, I think that was a mistake.
And
But
you got to remember that mistake set the course for what's happening now with that team.
Yes.
But it's also...
He did build it up.
His junior years were all with Mercedes.
Yes, he was a Mercedes boy, yeah.
And every contract he signed within Formula One was a clause saying if Mercedes decides to come back into...
That's right.
He can go
I'm
back.
gone.
That's right.
It's a get out of course.
But to get back to Heinz-Harold Frentzen, this guy was highly, highly talented.
He was a
and
shit-hot
he
driver.
beat Michael Schumacher many, many times back in the junior categories. And so he rocked up the Formula One before Michael Schumacher, or actually just a little bit after Michael Schumacher. I think he rocked up in 92 or 3 because he was racing in Sauber in 94.
Yes.
Right, and Schumacher was in Jordan in 91, 92, and then he went to Benetton in 93, didn't he? Roughly.
No, he was only with Jordan.
Oh, that's right. 92, he was with Benetton. I lied. Yeah,
because he
right.
did one race.
That's right. With Jordan, and then Benetton signed him. That's right. So anyway, the story is that Heinz-Harold Frentzen was more fancied than Schumacher, and he was better in the junior categories.
Jordan, didn't he?
Yes, but later.
Yeah.
And what happened to poor old Heinz-Harold Frentzen is what worries me with Daniel Ricciardo. So let me tell you what happened. He was driving for Sauber and was killing it at Sauber. And then finally, at the end of the 1996 season, he signed a contract with Williams. Now, that was fucking big because Williams were winning championships. Remember this?
Oh, yeah.
And they had Adrian Newey as a designer.
I say that's with Damon Hill.
Damon Hill. Jacques Villeneuve was in that. They were winning championships left, right, and centre. And so everyone thought this guy's going to be the next Formula One World Championship. He's in a Williams for next year in 1997. And he gets to Williams, and guess what? He doesn't get along with fucking Frank Williams. He doesn't get along with Patrick Head. And he goes to pieces. And he wins fucking 3 races when his teammate Jacques Villeneuve blitzes it and wins the World Championship. And you know what? They say that he gets one more year with Williams in 1998, and everyone thinks, he might calm down because he started to come good at the end of the 97 season, but guess what? The fucking regulations changed and Williams were nowhere. They didn't win a fucking thing in 1998, and the prick was fucking left in the middle of nowhere. And then he goes to Jordan. He was still in the middle of nowhere. He was one of the greatest drivers that never won a championship, Heinz-Harold Frentzen.
And you have to feel sorry for him because, I mean, signing with Williams, he would have... Could you imagine when you got home and went, I just signed with fucking Williams.
I'm in the best team.
He did.
The greatest team.
Everyone thought, because remember Jacques
You
Villeneuve...
wouldn't say that today.
No, but back then...
But back then they changed the regulations within Formula One to that car.
But in 97, they had the old regulations, and everyone thought this guy's going to be a king in that Williams, man. And everyone thought, you know what, Jacques Villeneuve's good, but we reckon Heinz-Harold Frentzen's going to be better. But mate, he went to pieces because he didn't get along with the team. He didn't get along with Patrick Head, didn't get along with Frank Williams. And he went to pieces. And Frank Williams fucking sacked him at the end of 98 and didn't renew him. And then he literally didn't have a seat.
He disappeared, didn't he?
He disappeared. Well, Eddie Jordan saved him and put him in a Jordan. And you know what happened? In the 98 and 99 Jordan, the prick started winning races because he got people that actually respected and worked with him. But he could have been a world championship. And I got a really bad fucking feeling that Daniel Ricciardo's got the same situation on his hands. I hope I'm wrong.
So do I.
Because that Cyril the Beatboard's he's a weirdo. He's a bit of a funny character.
But look at what's his name, the new Ferrari director. He's not far behind him.
No, he's a bit of a
See those glasses?
He's a hothead.
He's a hothead fuck, yeah. But they reckon he's pulling the team together in a different direction than what what's his name, Arriva Bene was doing last year. But you know what? If Vettel doesn't win it this year, I'm telling you now, he's gone.
Oh yeah,
he's gone. Ferrari will either sack him or he'll go, I can't deal with this pressure, and he'll go somewhere else.
Because the pressure's meant to be immense.
Well, everyone's saying you've had a car that could have won championships for the last 3 or 4 years. What have you been doing?
Nothing.
Because you know what everyone used to say when he was at Red Bull? He only wins because he's out the front and he's got the best car. And you know what? Mark Webber should have won in 2010. I know you don't like him, but he should have won it. But he bended in the Korean GP. Remember that? It rained and he put it in the wall. And that was it. His championship was over. Done.
Yep.
But he could have been the next Australian Formula One champion, but he didn't do it. He bended.
So who's your favourite driver of all time?
I'm going to say I respect Heinz-Harold Frentzen because
great driver.
He had so much talent, but no one ever saw it.
Yep.
I think my favourite driver has to be Senna, because I remember seeing that lap at Monaco when he put it on pole.
That was You
can watch that on YouTube. That is an amazing lap. But then he bended in that race, didn't he? That was a race where he put it in the wall and Prost beat him. Who's yours?
Oh, see, I'm hard. One of my favourite drivers of all time, James Hunt.
Oh yeah, cool. You saw the movie?
Oh, dude, I was a big James Hunt fan before then. I mean, anyone who rocks around with their Formula One suit with a sex, Breakfast of Champions badge, just if you watch any interview with him, he gets out of the car. Oh, you've got a cigarette. Like,
mate, he was unbelievable.
And he was the ultimate playboy.
He'd be pissed every other night. He'd have a cigarette, and he'd be shagging himself stupid. But you know what?
Isn't Raikkonen a bit like that?
I love Kimi. I
have to say, Kimi is probably my favourite driver.
Eddie Irvine, wasn't it? He was the...
Eddie Irvine was crazy too.
He was good.
I used to love Eddie Irvine. You go, cars over steering like a pig. He was fucking... my favourite...
He lived that life.
Actually, my favourite... Oh, he did. He was a playboy. He's very, very wealthy outside of Formula One because he plays the stock market. He's extremely good on the stock market, Eddie Irvine. That was his professional career, was a stockbroker. No bullshit. That's true. You can Google that. But I used to love Mika Hakkinen in the press conferences. Remember him? Because
my image always of Mika Hakkinen is that year that he binned it and blew the championship.
And he cried on the side of the track.
He was sitting on the side of the track and they had a helicopter over the top of the poor fellow. He's just sitting there crying. I
used to love the press conferences where they used to do them after the race, and they'd say, "Mika, you look like you're pushing the car really hard today. How were you pushing it? How hard were you pushing it?" And he would sit there for a fucking half an hour. He'd play with his hat and he'd go,
You'd say like 2 words, yeah.
He'd go, quite hard.
It's the fins for you.
And then Kimi Raikkonen's the same. Kimi Raikkonen, absolutely.
He's gold.
Remember the year he got fined in Monaco by Ferrari because he didn't turn up to the briefing after the race. And there were suggestions that his car was... So he'd had his boat brought over from Finland and parked in the marina. And it was literally at the end of the tunnel. So he's binned the car, got out of the car...
Got on his boat, fucked off home.
No, he didn't fuck off home. They were partying on the boat.
Yeah.
And he got a €10,000
He got a lot of money.
fine.
What about the time?
No.
And then,
How did he...
He pulls out his wallet. Yeah.
Was it 2008 or 9 when in Malaysia where it pissed down with rain and they stopped the race, or they didn't start the race, and Kimi's gone, fuck it, and he went off and had an ice cream, and they got him on TV, and he's just sitting there with a Magnum. And he's just eating his ice cream, and everyone's like, well, that's clearly Kimi not prepared to race today. He doesn't give a shit. But Mika Hakkinen was the best. And there was another time where they said
him and Schumacher.
That was one of the best rivalries too, because they actually respected each other, and there was no.
They were apparently really good friends outside of racing.
They were very good friends, and they never really jarred, like had sparring matches verbally. They just took it out on the track. And Schumacher says he's the best Formula One driver he ever raced against was Mika Hakkinen. But I'll never forget there was one interview they did with Mika Hakkinen after the race, and I think David Coulthard came second and Hakkinen came first. It was in 1998 where they just blitzed the field, McLaren. And they said, were you concerned about David Coulthard coming up behind you and racing really fast? He goes, yeah, I see Dave come up behind me. I said, Jesus.
I remember that.
Do you remember that? He was saying, you can't say that. He was just like so terrible. And but the best thing was they used to have the jugs of Gatorade on the table, and they go, Mika, what do you think about this McLaren for 1998? And he'd just take a big drink of water and he'd go, when you have a good driver and you got good tires, good chassis, a good engine, you're going to perform. That was it. And they expected a bigger answer, but oh no, not Mika. He was a fucking disaster. But Kimi is very similar. And that's why he's so popular.
It's Finns generally. Like,
Yeah, Finns,
I used to basically live in Finland with work, and that it's an entire nation of people like that.
Oh, they're brilliant.
Sounds like a dream place to live.
When Amanda turned up and like she's like dressed in like her big woolly hat 'cause she's going to the Arctic Circle, the guy's like looking at her and it's just like, nice hat. That's their joke.
Nice hat.
Who's your favourite driver? Did you say it? I can't remember.
I like James Hunt.
Yeah, that's right.
Kimi Raikkonen's the current one. I love Kimi.
I love Kimi too. People forget that Kimi, before Ferrari, was awesome. At McLaren,
He's awesome.
He is, but I don't think Ferrari really.
They never used him to his potential.
No, I don't think he's. No, I don't. I think he just played along because he's making money and he didn't rock the boat. But when he was at McLaren as a young kid, he was unbelievable. You know, and he should have won more championships than just the one.
Yeah, I can't believe he's only ended up.
Yeah,
with one.
it's crazy. And you know what? I think he's going to surprise a lot of people in the Alfa Romeo Sauber this year because he was killing it in Australia.
And that's another thing. I can't believe there's shockwaves through Ferrari that is signed with Alfa. Hang on. Alpha's your second team.
Yeah, that's deliberate.
Like you hadn't arranged it. Like you hadn't arranged the swap.
Do you know there's a rumour that Arriva Bene was sacked because he was the architect of getting rid of Kimi? And he said, I don't want Kimi because he's not performing against Sebastian. And apparently the board were not happy with it. The Fiat board wanted Kimi to stay at Ferrari. And then, but Arriva Bene couldn't get rid of him. So what they did was they said, you know what, next year we're going to make... Because Fiat's part... Alfa Romeo is part of Fiat, all that shit. Yeah. So they said, well, we're going to have a B team, and that's going to be Alfa Romeo. But because I'm not allowed to get rid of Kimi in the main team, I'll put him in the Alfa Romeo, and I'll keep everyone happy. But that wasn't what the board wanted.
No.
So they reckon that's why one of the many reasons why Arriva Bene was sacked because he wanted to get rid of Kimi, and the board loved Kimi because it's not just about winning races; it's about selling cars. And Kimi was fucking unreal. He's a rock star. He just rocks up, and people love him because he says what he wants. He doesn't give a shit. He's like me in a fucking Formula One car.
The year he was racing for Lotus.
Oh, that Lotus was a good car.
That was a great car. And some of his comments, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's right. On the radio, be quiet. I know what I'm doing.
Do you think this is my first rodeo? Shit like that. He was just a legend.
Doesn't give a fuck.
Do not talk to me now.
Yeah, sorry, please don't talk to me now. Yeah,
brilliant. Kimmy's a fan. I mean, I'm always going to love Michael Schumacher because
I love Schumacher too. The only thing with Schumacher is people will use the 94 championship decider in Adelaide as a smear mark. And yeah, I do agree it is. But you know what? The guy still won another 5 championships without any bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, and he did do something a bit dodgy in Jerez in 1997, the last race, where he did bang the car into the Williams in the Jacques Villeneuve. And Jacques Villeneuve ended up winning the race anyway. But apart from that, the guy still won championships clean. You know?
And let's look at it. The only driver to ever win a race whilst driving down pit lane.
Yes.
Silverstone.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes.
Won a race in pit lane.
Yeah. Oh. Do you ever won?
Schumacher, all the way. Has been mostly because that's the generation I grew up in. Right, and he was winning when I was starting to enjoy Formula One.
Trying to say there's one like Nelson Piquet.
Yeah, he was good too.
He was gifted as a driver. He was brilliant, and he was good with the fans. You know, there's so many that have been standouts. But I mean, you get to that level of a sportsman, you're not going to be your average schmo who's
No,
in his
that-
mum's
look, and
basement
this is-
doing a podcast.
No, well, fuck. Look at this.
I'll take that with the
Yeah,
love that it was meant for.
meant with, you know,
I'll take that criticism.
that, you know, when the Patreon's big, then I'll retract my statement.
Well, you know what? I bet you come sniffing around when the Patreon's big. You're like, oh, can I be part of the podcast? I bet all you fucks will. And I'll tell you who will be part of that bullshit.
Fucking Pedro.
Exactly, that suppressive personality that he is. And you know what he had the hide to say the other day? I'm fucking grabbing a pen to make a point. He wanted a T-shirt. And I said, you don't get a T-shirt, Pedro. And he says, all right, fine. And then I said to him the other night on the PSM, we were playing Division 2. I said, listen, Pedro, when can I book you on the podcast? He goes, you know what?
2020.
2020.
Get fucked.
Fuck off then.
that leaves space for the rest of us.
Exactly. And when he comes on here, you know what he's going to do? He's just going to sit there and just go, all lies. All lies.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. He played with that doll's hair.
They're awesome. I still can't believe that you got.
They're collectible.
Look,
Very, very
look,
special person.
You know, I say that to my wife a lot with all my stuff at home. No, it's collectible. I'm not throwing that out.
I know. Serious Sam, have you got a favourite Formula One driver, or are you indifferent to this bullshit
I am
podcast?
somewhat indifferent.
Oh, fuck
I didn't mind Hamilton when he was younger and a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, well, yes.
Like, you know,
When he was
Yes.
young, good.
Like, so-
Yes, McLaren
like,
years.
McLaren
did you,
years?
did you ever
Brilliant.
see that episode of Top Gear when like they had him do the fastest lap
Yes.
in the reasonably
Yes.
priced car, and he's going around the thing and he's kind of singing to himself? He's doing it. Like that
Yeah.
sort of era I can get
You know
on
what
with
fucked him up? When he went out with a pussycat. What was her name?
Nicole Scherzinger.
yeah, he started... I'm going to
You
say...
knew that way too easily,
he
dude.
He did, man. That's a bit weird. But you know what? He started hanging out. I'm going to use an old person term. He started hanging out with the wrong people, in my opinion, because he's had all
That'll
this.
do it.
Well, you know what? In the early years, the McLaren years, his dad was always at the races. Now his dad was at the Australian Grand Prix, which was nice, but his dad was always by his side. Then all of a sudden, his dad disappeared. Now I don't know why. There's probably many other reasons.
Didn't he
And-
fire him as his manager? I thought
Something
that's what
happened. Something happened with his family, and his brother ended up being the token support family person. But his dad was off the scene because I'm making shit up. I don't know, but something happened because his dad
Something's
was
definitely
always
happened,
his dad was always at the races, and something happened. And around that time, his demeanour changed too. He started. Even the commentators were saying, "Oh, he's not focused on his testing because he wasn't turning up to testing." And
He's too busy doing
he
his
was too
clothing
bu-
label.
Yeah,
and
he was
all that
doing
stuff,
clothing
isn't he?
labels.
No, he
and
got
he was-
distracted. And
He got
Then he's
distracted.
come back and he's kind of believed his bullshit now. That
Yeah.
and that's kind of why. Like,
But I'm still.
Ricciardo,
It
like, they've
just
got the
shits me
like-
that he's
it's
not.
likability.
He doesn't recognise the records.
But you know what? I'm going to give credit where credit's due. He is fucking awesome. He's super talented. But
He's so smooth. That's the
he's
thing.
awesome. And you know what? I'm telling you now, if Daniel Ricciardo or any other driver was in that Mercedes on any given day, he would still get pole.
I reckon you'd win in the Mercedes.
No, not against Lewis Hamilton. No one can. He's the best. In that. Well, I can win in a Mercedes against fucking this fuckhead, Jason Relaxation. You know why? Because he'd be too busy going, well, I'm uploading episode number 12.950 beta gamma, and I haven't got fucking time for your stupid games. And I'd be like, well, I'm going to get pole, you fuck. But no, he's awesome over a Saturday on a qualifying event. I don't think anyone is faster than him. And if you had the debate between, say, Vettel and Hamilton were in the same team, I think Hamilton would blitz him. I really do.
That'd be a
But
great race.
it would be. But I think
But too big. I mean, it doesn't work when you have two personalities that big within a
I
Formula
know, but I
One
want to
team.
see it.
I'd love
And
to.
everyone wants to see
It's
it.
like when they had Senna and Prost in the
Yeah.
same team.
It was awesome.
It was awesome,
Oh.
but I mean, you listen to any of the stories from back then.
Yeah.
For the PR and the marketing people and the management, it wasn't one of the biggest headaches in the face of the planet.
Yeah. But I think he's definitely the quickest driver in a one-lap situation on a qualifying weekend. But I go back to my point. I really do believe Daniel Ricciardo is one of the best racing Sunday drivers
He's got a
that there
vision.
is.
He can see
Yeah.
where the gaps are.
I think as well because he's got that likability that
Yeah.
goes along with him.
yeah.
I think if he can just keep his credibility for the next 2 years,
I really
he
want to
could
see
get the drive just on the basis of the marketing.
But
for
I
it.
think he wants to do what a lot of other drivers have done. I think he wants to build a team around him, which is Renault now, and he wants to win it from the ground up. He wants to come into a team and build it up and make it his own.
And, I mean,
and
look at all the good drivers have done it.
rather than walk in a Mercedes or a Ferrari and go, you know what, here I am, I've got the best car and I know I don't have to do shit to win. But I think he wants to build it from where he is, and I think that's why he left Red Bull. I really do. Plus all the other shit with Verstappen, which is this young kid's coming off the street and he's earning more than you, Daniel. You've been a
Mate,
little...
those two fucking hated each other.
No, I don't think they do.
You reckon?
I just think Verstappen's
A cock.
doesn't care about anyone else.
He's just an absolute
That's why he's going to win. That's why he's going to win championships.
Well, I mean,
that's why he's going to do
There's
it.
a Schumacher book, and it's talking about one of his first races, and he's sitting in a room, and there was Ross Brawn, Gene Todd, all the big names were in the room with him, and they asked him who was in the room with you. I have no idea. I was looking at the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, these are
I think Verstappen's going to win a championship before Daniel Ricciardo ever sees a win at fucking Renault.
I think the Honda engines surprisingly came out okay this year,
Yep.
which has surprised everyone. And yeah,
I think it's going to happen, and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. But you know what? I think he's a solid enough guy that if he sees it happen, Daniel Ricciardo's going to go, well, I knew what was going to happen, but that's not why I left. You know what I mean?
I'm not running away from a fight like this.
he actually said in an
He
interview...
can still do money angels on his bed, so how much is he going to care?
Yeah, but he's not in it. I know I know it's all about money. I know it is, but he's motivated to do something else, and that is...
Well, you saw that when he was driving to the track in that documentary, singing about anuses and all that.
Yeah,
He's hilarious.
Mate, he'd be the best to get on the piss with, I reckon. He'd be hilarious.
Well, you've seen his Instagram.
Keep it in the class, though.
His Instagram is hilarious.
It is brilliant.
Yeah. Well, when I don't look at the maid... I've got to show you the maid lady. That's part of the introduction. You got it. She jiggles now. I didn't show you the maid lady,
No,
did
you
I?
didn't, no.
Oh, fuck yeah. Hey, listen. How long are we recording this bullshit podcast? Because I got to do a piss. I'm not kidding.
almost an hour and a half.
Oh, we're done. As far
Okay,
as I'm
one
concerned...
question.
What?
Young Schumacher.
Yes. I think he'll make it.
You reckon he'll do it?
Yes, I do.
I hope.
I hope he does, and I think that... Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, he's actually got the talent, and two, I think people will ride the nostalgia train on him. That's what I
You reckon
think.
he'll be big? I reckon he'll be massive.
Oh,
I mean, he's
yeah.
already driving with the Ferrari Academy.
I think he's the real
And
deal.
I think Ferrari will promote him depending on how Charles goes this year. Or Schiller, whatever they want to call him.
Leclerc,
Leclerc.
you know what? He wasn't that inspiring in Australia, was he? I'm not saying he's shit. I'm not saying it.
No. But
guess what?
he's
Gasly,
the first driver
I'll
to
tell you,
come through the Ferrari
there's
Academy.
two drivers under pressure. Gasly's under pressure because he bent it multiple times in winter testing and he was not good in Australia. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And Leclerc, even though it was one race and you can't judge a driver by one race, Ferrari fucking do. And they don't forget. And they've been...
They're
and,
Italians.
And
you know about Italians.
and yeah, we're fucking... Look at me. And they've been less... They've been better drivers for less. That's all I got to say about it. Have we vented? Have we said everything we wanted to say?
I didn't say very much this episode.
Serious Sam, did you want to say
Nor
anything?
did Sam.
It's not our funniest
Brexit.
episode.
He says fuck Brexit.
Fuck Brexit.
You're against it then?
Yes, I am. I think it is the greatest fucking act of self-harm that a country has committed since they decided that the Americans didn't deserve a couple of MPs. Like, it's just fucking retarded.
Keep going.
It's like we've
We haven't
gone
laughed enough in this episode.
No,
Go
I
for it.
haven't done enough. Come on, keep going.
we've gone from like sitting there with like, oh, we've got the GDP, we're coming out of the growth. It's like, are we going to have any medicine next week? Oh, do you think we need food? Like, you're sitting there and they've got plans that they're sitting there with the army in a nuclear bunker and they're going, oh well, we're drawing all the plans for how we do because it might all go to hell in a basket. Do you think we might need to do something else? Nah, we're good. Everybody will be fine. It's fucking insane. Like, legitimately insane.
That was a good rant.
That was a pretty good
Have you got anything else to say?
No.
Have,
Let's
have you,
remove the warning
have
stickers
you,
off
have you
everything.
got anything else to say about anything at all? Get it off your chest now. Forever rest in peace.
How's that dog of yours?
Sorry.
How's that golden retriever?
He's good.
Which is a super furry animal song.
We know you
We
told
know,
us.
yeah.
He all
We've
fucking
heard it.
laughed at. They all laughed at me, Serious Sam. Didn't
I know,
they?
he was in the room too.
I
It
just
was
said
like
they.
an hour ago.
In my mind, that was fucking just a second ago. I don't know where I am. Have we said everything we wanted to say?
I think so.
We're done.
Fuck me. Talk about...
This has been
That
episode.
was loud.
This has been episode 12.1.2.39 Alpha Beta Gamma. Fucking I don't know what it is.
Hurry up, I got to piss.
So do I. I got bust them for a piss. Thank you, Rocket Russell. Thank you, Serious Sam, for an impromptu appearance. Very appreciated with your opinions on Brexit. I was very uneducated about Brexit until now, but I feel like I know a lot more. Thank you,
What's
Jason.
that? It's a clusterfuck.
Well, it's always nice to have a native tell me that it's fucked.
He's not a native, he's an Aussie.
I am technically Australian now too.
I just thought he had a
I'm just
speech
greedy.
impediment.
We invented the language. This is how it's
Well,
supposed
you know
to
it's fucking
sound.
funny. You say you invented the language, but I go over to England and I can't understand a fucking word you say. I need fucking subtitles. And then I walk into a bar and they go, fuck off, Australian. And I go, well, you know what? It's
You're
not
saying,
my
can you
fault
get behind the bar.
that I speak this language because I don't fucking know. Anyway, thank you, Jason Relaxation, for being you. Don't go a-changing. I'm sorry I've ranted about Formula One. I can't help it. I haven't missed a race since 1996. It's a rabbit hole I can't get out of. I got to improve it like everything else in my fucked up bullshit life. Like my smelly cat I got to go home to and fucking deal with and feed, and he's probably pissed and shit on the fucking floor, and fuck this podcast. Until next week, we'll go down another retro lane of bullshit. But until then, you can roll it, monkeys!